Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is the Masters of Science in Accountancy virtual information session. So today we'll be having Dr. Rod Smith, who is the MS Accountancy director. He'll be talking about the program, some information for you. My name is Diana, and I will be presenting the second half. I'll be going over the application process. So right now we're going to record the session, and then once we're done with the PowerPoint, we'll close it and then open it for questions. So thank you for joining us today. Oh, I kind of talked about this earlier. So yep, we're gonna be talking about introductions, job market, Cal State Long Beach, about the program, application process, and questions and answers. And then I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. Rod Smith for his section.
Okay. I'll tell you a little bit about our program, the background, why you might want to get your master's in accountancy. I think we have a great program, but we're really here just to provide information so you can make those decisions for yourself. So Robert Half, the human resources consulting firm, says that accounting jobs are hot. Hiring is a little slow in a lot of fields, but accounting seems to be doing well. And accounting always does better if you have your CPA, if you're a certified management accountant, your CMA credentials, if you have some skills. So, do you know something about QuickBooks or Sage? Can you program in structured query language, SQL? Are you a good Excel user? So all of those make a big difference. And I've put a link in there that you can click on that when you get the slides, and you can go to the Robert Half website and see information on salaries if you're interested in that. So it's I don't think we teach you any QuickBooks or Sage Intact, but we do definitely work on some of the other things in our program. So it is designed to give you more skills. And if you have more skills, these are some of the jobs that Robert Half says are available and what the median value is. So if you're good at tax and could be a senior manager, you could make up to 300,000, but the 50th percentile, the median is over 200,000 for senior manager in tax. Just tax service manager in public accounting, a CPA firm, 150,000. So there's a lot of nice high-paying jobs, and accounting is a great career. Of course, we've all got to start somewhere. Accounting firms are raising their starting salaries. So you can probably figure that if you get a job in an accounting firm, you're going to be somewhere around $80,000 at least to start as a beginner, and give you an opportunity to make sure you get your CPA and then stay on with them and grow in that firm, or take your skills and move up somewhere else. So the Institute of Management Accountants, IMA, is the organization that runs the certificate in management accounting. And they also provide a lot of resources to management accountants. But they have, and I haven't seen this last year's, but they do an annual survey of accounting salaries around the world in conjunction with Robert Half. And they found that the most recent one I looked at was 2021. I'm sure they have a more recent one, but they found that if you had an advanced degree, so if you have an MS Accountancy or an MBA, you were going to get about a $16,000 per year higher salary on average. And if you had a CPA or CMA, that was important to the Institute of Management Accountants, if you had one of those credentials, you could get up to another $16,000 per year. So accountants with a graduate degree and a certificate were making $30,000 more on average than other accountants. So definitely a premium for going to school more, learning more, having greater skills, and demonstrating those skills by having either the CPA or CMA certification. Another thing that another year in school gives you is the additional work on accountancy so that you can be better prepared for the exam. Now, we provide our students the GLIME CPA review course. It's their premium course. You get access to that course until you pass. But just having another year of accounting under your belt helps. The AICPA hasn't produced any more recent figures, but they did in 2013 to 2016. They indicated that test takers, CPA exam takers with a graduate degree did about 10 points better on the exam than the CPA exam takers with just a bachelor's degree. So there is an advantage to having that other year in school. Okay? So why would you want to come to us? Well, first of all, we're AACSB accredited. That is the premier accrediting agency for schools of business around the world. Only about 700 business schools are accredited out of about 16,000 worldwide. So it is really, it's a very thorough review of our processes and indicates that you're going to get a quality education. So wherever you go, you should look for the AACSB accreditation. That is the top of the line for business schools. Okay. And if you look at Cal State Long Beach, we are mentioned in money.com's best colleges, Forbes best value colleges, the Princeton Review, et cetera. So we're listed in all of those and particularly focused on return on investment and having people, what's the best way to say this? It's designed for people that are coming with maybe less than an elite university, but still highly successful coming out of college. So, yep. So best value, that's what I was trying to say. And money.com has best college rankings. They show cost and quality for 20,000 different colleges. So you can go there and look that up. It's always helpful to compare. Okay. When you're making a big commitment, like a graduate program, you should have all of the background information that's important to you. Okay, so what do we do for students? We have lots of resources that I mentioned that we provide the GLIME CPA review course. We have a graduate business career services organization that works with our MBAs and our specialty masters. So you can talk to somebody in graduate business career services. They are dedicated to the College of Business and they can help you improve your resume, improve your LinkedIn profile, for example, talk about improving your brand with social media, go through some mock interviews. They can help to some extent with internship programs, but I think accounting as a step up on that because most of our students affiliate with either Beta Alpha Psi or the Accounting Society. So Beta Alpha Psi is, I guess, nationwide, the organization that represents accountants. And now IT people can also join that, as well as finance people. And Accounting Society is similar at our university. All the meetings are together. So basically, they're the same organization. And so Beta Alpha Psi takes a little more time and effort to join, but Accounting Society, you can pay a nominal fee and join it and get most of the advantages. Meeting with employers, listening to guest speakers, getting in front of potential employers is really important. Helps your networking. Okay, so why would you want to come to our program? First of all, it provides the classes necessary to meet the 150-hour requirement for the CPA credential. I know there's some discussion about whether or not they want to maintain the 150-hour requirement because they are looking for qualified accountants. And they're not getting as many as they need. So they're looking at ways to achieve that. But nevertheless, we do provide that 150-hour requirement, and we do prepare you well for going out into the workforce. Secondly, you do it all in less than a year. So if you start in the fall, you'll finish the following summer. So you go to school for a little 10 and a half, 11 months, and then you're out. Okay. Our classes meet weeknights and Saturday mornings. So you'd come to school or meet online. Our classes are typically hybrid right now, or the Saturday morning classes are in person. But we meet either in class or online 2 nights a week. And then on Saturday morning, we have the tax class. Our tax instructors, we have a partner in a CPA firm that specializes in tax, and he teaches one of the tax classes, and we have a senior manager with the IRS that teaches the other ones. And so naturally, Saturday mornings are more convenient for them, and our students love them. They learn a lot about tax and get them well prepared for taking on a tax role in accounting or completing the tax part of the CPA exam. It's a cohort-based model. That means that the people you come in with are the people that you stay with for the program. So you get to meet some new people, make some new friends. Our program is really designed for working professionals. It's easy to get to campus when you have to come to campus. Classes are in the evening or on Saturday. So we make it as convenient as we can. We give you the opportunity to participate in Beta Alpha Psi and the Accounting Society. So you get to meet a lot of accounting firms. You get to attend Meet the Firms. So there's lots of opportunities. If you want a job in accounting, that we do everything in our power to get you in front of the people that can give you those jobs. Okay. So for our program, you do not need an undergraduate accounting degree, but you do need to take 4 prerequisite accounting courses. Okay. And it's not just our requirement. You could get through our program without those, I'm pretty sure, but you need those to meet the requirements for the California Board of Accountancy to sit for the CPA exam or become a CPA. So they have a requirement for so many accounting classes, so many accounting related classes, so many business classes, et cetera, so many hours. So if you don't have those 4 prerequisite courses, it makes it very difficult to meet their requirements. So what are the prerequisite courses? Well, it's the upper division courses, intermediate accounting 1 and 2, okay, which are really the meat of financial accounting, and then auditing and a taxation course. Okay, if you're not in a current undergraduate accounting program, we strongly recommend that you use community college resources in this area, and you can pick up those classes very quickly for just a moderate amount of money. So we have a list of community colleges and the courses that meet the prerequisites to those community colleges if you want, and you can talk to Diana and she can email that to you. Our total program cost is less than $20,000. Okay, it went up a little bit recently because they raised tuition. It's like an undergraduate program, so it's a state-supported program. The state pays part of your fare, okay, but you end up paying $20,000. Is not inexpensive, but if you look at other programs in the area, you're going to pay 40 to 90,000. Okay, if you go to UCI, for example, okay, if you go to USC, if you go to Chapman, those programs are all well over 50,000. If you don't happen to be a California resident, there is a non-resident fee that goes on top of that. But okay, so what does our schedule look like? Accounting classes are unique in the College of Business in that they are typically 4-unit classes. So during the week, we would go to you'd attend from 6 to 10, for example. On the weekend, it would be like 10 to 2. or 9 to 1, depending on the schedule of the particular class. But the advantage is that you get more in each class, but you don't need to take as many classes. So we have 3 classes in fall, 3 classes in spring, and then we have 2 classes, one 4-unit and one 2-unit in the first summer semester. So in fall, you have financial statement analysis, you have corporate governance, and you have a tax class. In spring, you have the course that I teach, accounting information systems and data analytics, and you have auditing, and you have another tax class. In summer, you have the capstone course, which focuses on accounting professional ethics, and the other class is forensic accounting that a lot of students really love. We have a woman teaching that owns a forensic accounting firm. Okay. You take the same courses if you come in the spring. So if you come in January, you take the spring semester, you jump right into auditing, accounting information systems and data analytics, and a tax course. You take your capstone course and forensic accounting during the summer, and then you finish up in the fall with financial statement analysis, corporate governance, and another tax class. So you get all of the same classes. At this point, we don't have any electives. We are actively considering them, but they are not currently in the schedule because this one is really aimed at meeting the California CPA requirements. Okay, so Diana is going to tell you about how to apply if you're interested. If you don't remember all of this, remember our emails, and we can provide you more information later on.
All right, thank you, Dr. Smith. Yeah, so as a reminder, we will be sending you a PDF copy of this presentation and a recording as well. So make sure you kind of take notes, but if not, you can always refer back to this later on. So yes, we'll be jumping right into our application process. So first off is our eligibility requirements. So first is you need to have a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited university. If you didn't already graduate, make sure that you are either about to graduate or are a senior and graduating soon. So make sure that eventually you do get your bachelor's degree. The undergraduate GPA requirement. So typically the university minimum is a little bit lower at 2.5. Now for the College of Business, because the caliber of the students and our programs are competitive, we do look at a GPA slightly higher than that at around 2.75 or greater. Um, just as a FYI, meeting the minimum and general requirements don't guarantee admission. So of course, like we encourage you to try to spend a little bit more time on your application materials, which we'll go into in a little bit, and making sure that you prepare everything thoroughly. Now, if your degree was obtained outside the US, you would be subject to submitting a English language requirement. So there's a few on your screen, so TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. When you get this presentation, you have access to the link from the Center of International Education, and they will have a complete list of all the test scores that you could take. You don't need to take all 3, you just need to make sure that you take one and then that you meet the minimum test score. All right. So the actual application process first starts with creating your profile in CalState Apply. There are going to be 4 quadrants that you'll be completing. We do have a step-by-step application guide, and we'll be sending that in a little bit. You do want to pay the $70 application fee. Unfortunately, it is non-refundable, and we do not offer any application fee waivers. I know we get some questions on that, but unfortunately, we don't provide any fee waivers for the graduate application. Fall 2025 deadline. So it'll be March 15th, so next month for international applicants. And then if you are a domestic student or applicant, your deadline is a little bit later at June 1st of later this year. And then you want to make sure that you submit your transcripts or test scores to the university as needed. So application components, it'll consist of a resume, video statement of purpose, short answer, essay, and 2 letters of recommendation. So we'll be talking more in detail in a little bit. So this is what it looks like on Casted Apply. So make sure that you're selecting the correct term. Right now we are open for fall 2025. So select that and then either select that you're a graduate student, if you're a domestic applicant. If you're an international applicant, just make sure that you select that tab next to that. So either one of those. And then that's when you will start generating the application for that semester. So these are what the 4 quadrants that we referred to. This is what it looks like. So as you're completing them, let's say if you take a look at the program materials, you see how that circle is half colored green. So that means that you're in progress, you're still filling out that section. Once you fill out the section completely, then the whole quadrant, that circle will turn entirely green. So that's how you can kind of tell what what you need to work on, what's incomplete, or what you've already completed. All right, first quadrant is your personal information. Just make sure that you fill out the correct information. Make sure that your email address is correct. Your date of birth and everything. Make sure that you're filling out all the questions, and this will be kind of your personal information. The second quadrant, we're moving on to the academic history. So this is the area where you'll be listing the colleges that you attended. So let's say, for instance, if you went to Cal State Long Beach, you'll be indicating that there. Or if you have went to community college as well, you won't be listing like your high school or anything. It'll just be universities or community colleges. And then GPA entry, just make sure that you fill it out as best as you can. It's okay if it's a little confusing how to fill it out. If you leave it blank, that's all right. Enrollment Services or the Center for International Education, they will be calculating your GPA later on. So that won't be an issue. And then for standardized tests, um, the GMAT or GRE is not required for the our MSA program, so you don't need to submit those tests. If you are submitting like a TOEFL exam, make sure that you or English language exam, make sure that you do submit that to the university later on, and that's how you complete this section. Supporting information, this is the easiest section. Under experiences, you can just report I'm not adding any experience, and that will kind of bypass this section. So this will be kind of the easiest section that you'll be submitting and completing. All right, quadrant 4. So this is where you'll be spending a lot more of your time, submitting all the materials that I mentioned earlier. So you want to make sure that you kind of go through this section thoroughly. So first off, we do have on the questions tab is your video statement. So this is required for the application process. So typically when you're applying to programs, it'll ask you for a statement of purpose. Now for us, or let's say programs might ask for like an interview process. We don't have an actual interview to get admitted to our programs, so we have a video statement instead. So make sure that you're introducing yourself and answering these questions. So first is, introducing yourself, explaining your academic background, or let's say if you have any work experience, make sure that you talk a little bit about that. Second is what are your career goals over the next 3 to 5 years? Third, what is your long-term dream job? Fourth, what are you doing to prepare yourself for graduate school? So in general, the video is going to be around 3 to 5 minutes total. So probably spend around like a minute for each question and prompt. Just make sure that you, again, answer yourself thoroughly and that you touch base on that. And you can use any sort of video platform such as YouTube, just as long as the video link is public and viewable without having us create a login or, logging into the account. So just make sure that the link is a public link. And then Documents tab. This is where you'll upload your resume. So make sure that you do update all the work experience, or if let's say you have internships, update your resume. And yeah, so there. And then the next will be your short answer essay document. So this is separate from the video statement of purpose. It's 1 page max, 12-point font, double space with 1-inch margins. So your prompt is your explaining a time where you experienced a challenge or obstacle. So, how did you overcome that obstacle? And then, what would you do differently if you could experience that all over again? So, just take a little bit of about take some time to write about your challenges, make sure that it is appropriate for a grad program, and just kind of this will, show the admissions committee a little bit of how you are, how you overcame that, and what would you do differently. And then for the documents tab, so this is where you'll be listing so you can upload your unofficial transcripts to make sure that you demonstrate your completion of the 4 prerequisite courses. So like Dr. Rod Smith mentioned earlier, there are going to be 4 courses. So auditing, federal taxation, intermediate accounting 1, and intermediate accounting 2. Now, just make sure on this section that you can put either that you completed these classes or that they're in progress. If you put not available, we will probably be reaching out to you to kind of clarify, just because you need to make sure that you're completing or enrolled in these classes and finishing these classes before you start the program. So let's say if you're applying for fall 2025, make sure that you complete all these classes by summer 2025, which is right before fall 25. All right, recommendations tab. So we do kind of require 2 recommenders. You'll be inputting their name and email address. And as far as we're concerned, once you save this information, an automatic email will be sent to them for them to upload the letter for you on their behalf, on your behalf. Just I would recommend that you reach out to your recommenders ahead of time. So for them to keep an eye out for this email, and just have them check their email inbox or spam folder just in case. But just make sure that you're asking either a past or current professor, or supervisor, manager, advisor, someone who could really vouch for you. And they can talk about, a little bit about the history of how they know you, detailed statement of the characteristics that they believe will help you excel in this master's program, some of the contributions that you have contributed, and then a strong closing statement of endorsement for your candidacy. So essentially, there isn't like a specific format that we have recommenders submit. Just make sure that they kind of hit these bullet points, and write kind of like a strong recommendation for you. Right. So transcripts for domestic universities. Just make sure that you're not submitting your official transcripts until after you have submitted and paid for your Cal State Apply application. So just don't jump the gun too fast. Make sure that you're submitting it after you submit Cal State Apply. Now, transcripts can be submitted electronically through that particular email address for domestic institutions only, or you can have your official sealed and university stamped transcripts mailed to enrollment services at Cal State Long Beach. Good news, if you attended Cal State Long Beach, if you're alumni or you're a current student, you don't need to submit any additional transcripts from Cal State Long Beach to Cal State Long Beach. We will have access to those transcripts. So that's one less thing that you need to do if you attended Cal State Long Beach. And then if you attended an international institution that's outside the US, you can upload your unofficial transcripts. Make sure that you're including the English word for word translation from your bachelor's degree within Cal State Apply that quadrant 4. So make sure you can upload your unofficial copies or mark sheets. And then let's see, let's say your application is complete and then the admissions committee reviews everything and you're offered admission, then you will be submitting your official transcripts later on afterwards. So you can upload your unofficial transcripts first and they can be processed and evaluated. And then later on, once you've been admitted to the program, then you'll be required to submit your official sealed and university stamped transcripts. If you have kind of more information, if you have questions, feel free to contact the International Admissions CIE, their website, and then you could also submit a ticket if you have any more questions regarding kind of like your situation. Now, for any current Cal State Long Beach seniors, this is an opportunity for you to fast track your way into the program. So These are only qualified if you're a current senior, majoring in accountancy, if you have a 3.0 GPA or higher, and just making sure that you're maintain that up until you graduate. There might be some of you who have already submitted this. Um, if you're interested, feel free to email us for a link to the fast track application. You just need to make sure you prepare your unofficial transcripts and resume, but email us when we send out the follow-up email to this information session. You can reply back to that email and then we can kind of get you connected and for you to submit the fast track. Again, this is only for Cal State Long Beach current students who are majoring in accounting. Now, we do have some application support drop-in sessions. So these are for prospective students who have attended kind of our information session and have some questions completing Cal State Apply or anything like that. So they're typically held from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So we do have some dates. So upcoming dates are February 26th, March 12th, April 16th, May 14th, and the 28th. Now, there's no RSVP needed to join these sessions. They're going to be the same Zoom link. So feel free once it is 5:30 on February 26th, you click on the link and we will have an advisor meet with you and then you can ask your questions there. And we do have quite a few dates. So just kind of mark them in your calendars. If you kind of need or need help, we can help you there. All right, if you have any further questions, here is our website, our number, and our email address. So the email is still the email that you got, when we send you a follow-up and as a reminder email. And then feel free to let us know if you have any questions. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording, and then we can open it up for any questions. So hold on. 1 second. Sorry, guys. On is still going.